Nestled within the heart of Rome lies a country so small you could walk across it in under an hour. It's a place steeped in history, art, and religion, a global powerhouse that operates on a minuscule scale. Most people have heard of it, but what on earth actually is the Vatican City? Is it just a very elaborate church? Who lives there? And what's the deal with their cash machines being in Latin? Trust me, it's kind of crazy. So let's travel to the center of Rome and investigate. So let's first answer that last question that I asked in the introduction. The fact that I mentioned something as random as a country's ATMs tells you that it has a surprising answer. Yes, the Vatican Bank's ATMs have instructions in Latin, which has to be the only place on earth you'll find that. It's a little nod to the official language of the Holy See, the governing body of the Catholic Church. Now for the big question, what exactly is Vatican City? Well, it's officially the smallest sovereign state in the world, both in terms of its area and its population. At just 49 hectares, or about 121 acres, it's roughly 1/8 the size of New York's Central Park. Its population is just as tiny, with around 800 to 900 residents. So, how did this tiny nation come to be? For over 1,000 years, the popes ruled a large chunk of central Italy known as the Papal States. But in 1870, with the unification of Italy, these lands were seized, and the Pope declared himself a prisoner in the Vatican. This led to a nearly 60-year standoff, which was finally resolved in 1929 with the signing of the Lateran Treaty. This treaty, signed with the Italian government, then led by Benito Mussolini, recognized Vatican City as an independent and sovereign state. So, if it's a country, it must have a government, right? Absolutely. Vatican City is an absolute elective monarchy, which is a bit of a mouthful. Essentially, the Pope is the head of state and holds supreme legislative, executive, and judicial power. He's elected for life by the College of Cardinals in a process known as a conclave. This secret election takes place in the stunning Sistine Chapel, where cardinals under the age of 80 vote until a 2/3 majority is reached. To let the world know the outcome, the ballots are burned. Black smoke means no decision has been made, while white smoke signals that a new pope has been elected. With such a small population, who actually gets to live in Vatican City? Well, you can't just decide to move in. Citizenship is not based on birth, but is granted to those who work for the Holy See. This includes cardinals, priests, nuns, and members of the Swiss Guard, along with their families. Once their term of service ends, so does their citizenship. And because there are no hospitals in Vatican City, no one is actually born a citizen. The famous Swiss Guard, with their colorful Renaissance-style uniforms, are responsible for the Pope's safety and have been protecting the papacy since 1506. So, what about the economy? How does a country with no real industry and no taxes make money? The Vatican's economy is unique, to say the least. A significant portion of its revenue comes from donations from Catholics worldwide, known as Peter's Pence. The rest is generated through museum admissions, the sale of postage stamps, coins, and souvenirs. And let's not forget about those collectible Vatican euro coins, which, due to their rarity, are highly sought after by collectors. The Vatican museums are a huge draw, attracting over 25,000 visitors a day who come to see some of the world's most famous art, including Michelangelo's breathtaking Sistine Chapel ceiling. Speaking of art and architecture, Vatican City is a treasure trove. The entire state is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the only one of its kind in the world. St. Peter's Basilica, one of the largest churches in the world, is its centerpiece. Its magnificent dome, designed by Michelangelo, dominates the Roman skyline. The basilica is said to be built over the tomb of St. Peter, one of Jesus' apostles and the first pope. Inside, you'll find Michelangelo's stunning sculpture, La Pietà. The Vatican Museum's house a staggering 70,000 works of art, with about 20,000 on display. The collection spans centuries and includes masterpieces by artists like Raphael and Leonardo da Vinci. But the star of the show is undoubtedly the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo spent 4 years from 1508 to 1512 painting the ceiling with scenes from the Book of Genesis. Famously, he didn't paint lying down, but stood on a specially designed scaffold, craning his neck to complete this monumental work. Now for some truly random and fascinating facts. Despite its holy status, Vatican City has the highest crime rate per capita in the world. Don't worry, it's not a hotbed of violent crime. The culprits are usually the millions of tourists, and the most common offenses are pickpocketing and shoplifting. On a lighter note, residents of the Vatican are said to be the biggest wine drinkers in the world, consuming an average of 74 liters per person each year. This is partly due to communal meals and the fact that wine is sold duty-free in the city's only supermarket. The Vatican also has the world's shortest railway, with just two 300-meter tracks, used mainly for freight. And if you're a fan of astronomy, you might be surprised to learn that the Vatican owns a state-of-the-art telescope on Mount Graham in Arizona, USA. So, there you have it, the Vatican City in a nutshell. A tiny, independent nation with a global influence that far outweighs its size. It's a place of immense history, faith, and art, with a few quirky surprises thrown in. Like and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, thank you very much for watching.